Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So we've just gone and got a killer new setup here, which is the Mirka DEROS full standing station. So I've actually been using one of these, as you can see over there, for the last 8 months. So I've got a bit of experience with it to give you a good follow-up review, and also again a follow-up review on that flex machine. I'll be talking about that a little bit later in the video. But for now, I guess I'll give you guys a bit of a grand tour of this thing here. So as you can see, it's a nice size vacuum cleaner that we've got there. You've got a couple of different settings on it, so you can run it manually. If you turn that to the right there, you can see you'll run that manually. It's got a fader on it too, so when you're doing block work, you don't want it sort of sucking to the panel too hard. You just want just a little bit of vacuum so that it's not sucking to the panel too much, so you're just letting the block do the work. And as you can see there, we do have a different hose for that, and you can see here it's got a little Y section in it. I believe our other one doesn't have that, so we've got to sort of unplug it, unless it may have came with it, but the boys didn't plug it up when it was new. Potentially that, but yes, it does drip and ooze of quality. You can just tell, even just by moving it around. It's got good quality casters on it. Even just the drawers, they do feel, you know, they got that sort of a good quality feel to them, made in Finland, so I guess you would expect good quality from them. As you can see there, we've got a couple of different drawers. You can put various things in there. You got some more storage space down here. We've just put a few spare things in there, just in case we may need them later on. As you can see, it's got a lock-up door on it too. And yeah, just a bit of room up the top there. Now this kit here did come with this one as well, so that's for a speed file. As you can see, it hasn't been used yet. I have not used it yet, so I cannot speak of how good it is, but as you can see there, it's got a small orbit on it, so only a 3mm, so potentially could be good for doing block work. Yeah, it'll be, I'm actually looking forward to using that one, potentially let you guys know how I go in a future video. So yeah, the sander in and of itself, I'm actually not the biggest fan of it. So yeah, I do have the flex machine, so I've got experience with other electric sanders. You may look at that, and I was really close to getting one of these years ago. So when I actually wanted that, right, I was looking at this like a hawk. I was so close to buying it. Ultimately, it was just a bit expensive for me. So I think back then it was like $950 or $1,000 just for the sander, right? That was without any vacuum cleaner. Whereas that flex machine, that came in at about $600, something like that. So definitely cheaper, and the better machine. I do believe it's the better machine. Now you might look at that and be familiar with it. Oh, it's sort of like an air sander, you know, a palm sander style. But I actually prefer having an on and off button, right? So I can turn that on, have one hand here, and rest my left hand on the front of it. And you've actually taken a bit of the pressure off. So it's made for dual hand use. You don't need two hands, right? It is a little bit heavier, but it's more comfortable than what it looks. It doesn't necessarily, it kind of looks a bit big and bulky, but it is really comfortable. But yeah, the main reason I'm not the biggest fan of this, the first time I used it, I'm like, man, it's gutless. Compared to that has got heaps more torque in it. You cannot slow it down. So with this one, if you do lean into it, it'll sort of, it'll stall, right? So you sort of lose the rotation on it. So it's not as grunty, but it's also got a higher vibration. That has basically got, I guess maybe because it's larger, they've managed to offset the vibration. So anyone that's done full resprays will know what I'm talking about. There's a thing called halves, right? Yes, it's actually got a name. So up the inner of your arm, you'll just get vibrations and you'll get numb fingers, right? You'll just feel, when you go like that, you'll just feel this numbness in your fingers, and you just feel this tingling the whole way up your arms. I get that with this, I do not get it with that one. So yeah, if you're just doing single jobs, you probably won't get it. Like, I don't get it when I'm doing small jobs, but you may have noticed around here we do full respray. So a lot of the work that we're doing, as you can see over the back here, this is part of a full respray on a patrol. That's a Mazda just over there, another full respray. So especially there was one day a few weeks ago when it was just me, right? And one thing that I do really love about these is the long hose, right? So they're about a 10-meter hose. So the beauty of that is that I can just leave that thing sitting over there, and I can get the whole way around the car from one side to the other without having to muck around moving that. So that is one downside of this. But I was actually only thinking yesterday, you could just extend that hose pretty easily. Like it would not be hard to extend that hose. And yeah, look, currently I don't even have that on a trolley. I just sort of I'd take it around. But yeah, there was a point a few weeks ago when I was preferring this one, mainly because it's just more maneuverable, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just bang, you pick it up and you can be anywhere over their shop. Whereas yeah, like if you want to go from side to side on a respray on this, it's just clunky, you know, picking up that big thing. But like I say, that is actually hands down the better machine. So another thing I was thinking of touching on was air powered versus electric sanders. So I kind of came onto electric sanders probably about 3 or 4 years ago when I got that Flex. Now that I did get that back in Perth, so geez, well, it must have been nearly 5 years ago. At that point, I loved my air-powered sanders. You know, I used to love them. But now, I actually used to have exactly one of these. It did die. That was actually when I got that Flex, when this one died. It died in the arse and it just seized up, right? And now going back to one of these, oh my God, they are so gutless and terrible. Like, they don't have the torque in them, especially if you're doing work from home, electric all the way. Yes, like one of these air-powered sanders, they'll probably only cost you a few $100s, so definitely they are cheaper than the electrical, and you'd probably say maybe a longer service life, because generally air tools, like, you know, there's no electrical components, they're just moving off the compressed air. There's basically fins inside there which just pick up when the air blows past it, so you're just opening a valve that lets these air fins spin around. That's what's happening with one of those. So there's less chance, as long as you keep them oiled, they should last a long time, right? Now, in talking about that, this one has been going strong ever since I've owned it. It's due for a backing pad, but that happens to all of them. A backup pad here, I do need to get a new one of them. But that's one thing I did want to mention about the Flex. There is 2 of these Flex machines, so ORE 5150EC, right? This is the good one, and the other one's sort of, the trigger is down here, right, on the handle. It's sort of like under there. It's a bit more clunky. The size and shape is a bit, like, it's not as comfortable as this. It's not as ergonomic, and that's the one that I used at home. So I've got one here at work and one at home of the Flex. That one that I got at home, it broke down. It was when I was working on my Tirana, when I was prepping the Tirana up. I literally just pulled it in and my finger slipped off it. And then when I went to pull it in the next time, it was dead. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a review unless I was honest and, you know, straightforward about the performance. But if you can, get one of these. And another thing worth saying is, look into the warranties, because yeah, like, no doubt Flex would have a good warranty. I got that one sponsored out, so Spray Guns Direct, like, oh, we can get it fixed. I said, man, don't worry about it. I just went down and got a Roops one. So I've got a Roops one at home, a Roops, but I do prefer the Flex. I don't know, that Roops is kind of like the other Flex, with it's got the trigger on and off, and it's just a bit more clunky. And that Flex machine, easily the best orbital sander I've used. Highly recommend getting that one. Spray Guns Direct did actually send this one down to me as well, so if you do want one, you can get them sent to Australia, and they're not too expensive. Definitely not as expensive as the Mirka, which will potentially give you that buzz on the arm. So I believe that this kit here, $6,000. So I think they had like a promotion or a special deal on, where they got these on special, where it's like buy one get one free. But yeah, I saw the invoice and they are not cheap. Awesome bit of kit, don't get me wrong, but for me, that's what I'd be getting. That's what I would recommend. If you can afford the money and you're not doing resprays, yeah, maybe go for the Mirka. But all in all, I'm glad I didn't get one when I was looking at getting it, because I reckon I would have been a little bit let down. Another thing, and it's a known issue, they do know about it. We actually just recently, the plug that goes into there, it's a proprietary plug, so you can't just get any plug. They are known to go out. So yeah, ours did go and die on us only a few weeks ago. So they know about it, and they'll replace the lead free of charge. So that's good. They do have good you know, warranty and follow-up service. But yeah, another thing, just at the end of the video, I thought I'd quickly mention is this Mera Galaxy sandpaper. I think it's relatively new here in Australia. We were some of the first to get it, and it is killer. It's affordable and it's really good. I'm actually somewhat of an elitist when it comes to sandpapers. So if I did not absolutely love it, I would 100% tell you. Like, prior to this, I'm a 3M purple man. The 3M purple abrasives, the Cubitrons, absolutely love and swear by it. But this Mirka Galaxy, guys, if you can find some, give it a shot. You'll be probably, I would say you'll be pretty impressed with it. And one thing I noticed the other day is that they're double-sized boxes. So from memory, 3M, they have 50 per box, but these are 100 per box, and they're actually not that expensive either. So definitely good value and very good sandpapers. So yeah, I've found some of those cheap sandpapers that you'll use, you know, 15 per panel. It's a false economy. You're not saving anything. You could just use, like, straight up, one piece of 800 will do a whole bonnet. As long as you've cleaned the panels down and you don't have all that grit on it, you should be right. But anyway, that's about it, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Yeah, until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.